it did cut out, but I managed to teach the lesson, so you can check that out. So, social anxiety 1 year program. I started doing live streams a few weeks ago, explaining, trying to excite people, you guys, about the benefits of doing the 1 year program. And you don't have to do the 1 year program with me. I mean, I offer a 1 year program, my paid 1 year program for committed clients that really want to transform their life who have social anxiety. But you can take the advice today and get a lot of confidence and free value that I'm going to give. You can make notes. So basically, let me just continue where I left off. Obviously, some of you know about the 1 year program. You're applying it, you're doing it with me, or you're doing it on your own. For those of you that don't, basically, the idea of the 1 year program is really a metaphor for getting you to face your social fears and your shyness and your social anxiety, and it's getting you to commit to socializing as opposed to not committing, or socializing a little bit and then going back to your kind of habits of isolating yourself for long periods of time. The idea is, excuse me, so the idea is, the longer you socialize, the more confident you become, and the more you can commit to facing your fears and facing your shyness, your social anxiety, and all your kind of fears in that area, the more confidence you're going to gain. Whereas the least amount of socializing and practice that you do, the least amount of confidence that you're going to gain. And the reason why I'm really passionate about this is, well, there's three reasons. The first reason is because I used to really suffer bad with social anxiety in my 20s. This is like 14 years ago. I couldn't really earn money, I couldn't get a job, I couldn't go out in public, I couldn't really live a normal life. So I really suffered. Obviously, after getting motivated and overcoming my social anxiety and my fears, I became really confident, and then I become a teacher. So I'm really passionate. I've been coaching for almost 11 years in this area. Number three, I know that a lot of people don't know that they can make changes, big changes in their life. So I'm really passionate about making them aware and explaining to them that they can do it. If I can do it, then you can definitely do it. And if my clients can do it, then there's no reason you can't do it. The only person that is preventing you from doing it is, I would even say, it's your negative self, your negative thought patterns. So what I'm going to do is, you can ask me any questions, by the way. Just to let you guys know, I said on the live stream, I am a bit lower in energy today. I've got a little bit of a flu. It's nothing major, I'm getting over it. So I'm trying to really push past it with having a second coffee, because I'm in such a good mood, and I'm not going to let a little bit of a flu spoil my day and stop me from doing these live streams and helping as many of you as I can. So I'd like to go over some of the mistakes that people make who have social anxiety, because I feel like if I can make you aware of the mistakes you're making, then you can stop making those mistakes, and automatically you're going to make more progress, and that's really important. So I would say, in no chronological order, one of the major mistakes that people who have social anxiety and who are quite shy, here we go, is the chocolate coffee on the lip. One of the mistakes that they make is they don't socialize enough, they're not consistent enough. And I know the reason behind that, obviously, it's the fear. So let's say they go and see their parents, which is great, or they go out to a party, or they socialize with friends, or they go to the gym, which is really good. After they do that, they get comfortable again, and they don't want to come outside of their comfort zone and socialize. So basically, people get fearful again, they get set in their ways, and naturally, it's like one of my clients said. He said, why is it in the morning I sometimes find it hard to go to work, but once he goes to work, he says he enjoys his job and it's not as bad as he thinks. And it's because you've got to go through that process again of getting uncomfortable, going in your nice comfort zone, and then repeating that process. So that's one of the reasons why people don't make progress. The second reason, the mistake that people make, is when they experience a rejection, Or hang on a minute. Just gonna move here for a sec, get a better place. 1 sec, guys. Floyd Mayweather style. Successful people always adapt. I'm just looking for a different seat. Thank you. Oh, this is better, guys. Sorry that. Alright. Okay. So yeah, where was I? So basically, if I can run you through the mistakes, and you know the reason why I know the mistakes in this area is because I made all these mistakes myself, and obviously these mistakes that I've seen clients make over the years, and also you guys that follow me on YouTube, and just knowing what I know, being in the coaching business for over a decade, almost 11 years. So as I said, the mistake that people with social anxiety make is inactivity. They don't consistently socialize enough, and obviously the reason being, well, ultimately it's because of fear. But then I suppose there are certain elements as to why they feel fearful, and sometimes it's laziness, yeah, procrastination, all those things. But a lot of the times it's fear and it's a lack of motivation, and they haven't defined what their goals are. So that's why I said in my other videos, and you can check them out on the channel, on other live streams, it's really important that you have a goal with regards to getting over your social anxiety, because if you don't have a goal or several goals that are really important to you that you're going to make no excuses about achieving, then the likelihood is you're not going to have the motivation to want to go out and, you know, and socialize and open up and talk to people. So an example that I always give, when I had bad social anxiety, I wasn't motivated either. It took me about 15 years of being depressed before I finally decided I need to change this. And the goals that drove me to actually face my terrifying fear of talking to people and this anxiety problem that I had, the goals were to fall in love and get a relationship, to earn money, doing a job that I loved and more of a career. And the third one was so I could, come outside of my shell and be more confident and do boxing and get in shape and travel and do some public speaking and make some new friends. So those goals really gave me the extra strength. And because I went towards those goals, I achieved those goals in a matter of about, I would say, a year and a bit, a year and a half, which is why I developed the 1-year program for people that are really committed, that want to overcome social anxiety and transform their life in the way that they want it. So that's some of the mistakes that some of you might recognize that you have. It's not having the right goals, not socializing enough. Another big mistake, and I observe this in clients and I help them to fix it, is people with social anxiety will start socializing, which is great, and when things are going well they're happy, but if they have a challenge in a relationship, or let's say they get awkward in a social situation or embarrassed, it really gets to them and it makes them feel bad, and then they get discouraged and then they recluse back into not being social again. So let me just give you more of a concrete example. So a lot of people with social anxiety, let's say they're looking for a job, typically, let's say they go to several job interviews and they don't get the job straight away. Maybe they get turned down from 5 jobs. They might then take it upon themselves to come to the conclusion that they didn't get the job because they're not good enough, and then they stop looking for a job and they stop socializing as well. And that's when you start to be more, that's when you become stuck. It's like yo-yo dieting. People that diet, lose weight, and they put the weight back on, they're not consistent. So That's the main major mistake people make. So if you have realized that you've been making that mistake, you can start to undo that mistake by wanting to not make that mistake and overcome and improve your confidence and achieve your goals within whatever those goals are. And you can always let me know what your goals are in the box below. So a lot of the time, sometimes you've got to trick your negative mind into socializing with people, because sometimes, a lot of the times, people who suffer from severe social anxiety and shyness, they overthink about everything, especially social engagements. And I know, because I used to be like that. So sometimes someone with social anxiety will overthink so much that they can't seem to get past the fear and go and socialize. So if you can bypass that, for example, and say, how would you feel about, I don't know, going to the gym and having a workout with a friend or with me or with a group? And you might love training, so you'd be like, yeah, I want to do that. I want to go and lift some weights. So obviously, when you go and work out and do weights, there is a higher probability that you can, within your workout, you get a chance to talk to some people and socialize a bit more, and then your confidence is going to improve. Does that make sense?
You want to just lift up the bill for the gentleman?
So any questions you've got, just put them in the box below, and I'll try and get to your questions. All right, Timmy, good to see you. What are the common consequences for folk not taking action with regards to isolation? Well, the consequences, the consequences can be more anxiety, more depression, and things can get really bad. I mean, it's not a comfortable thing to talk about, even for me. And I know I don't want it to be the case for anyone, but if, it can be possible for things to get really bad, depression, suicidal thoughts. And that's why we never want it to get to that point, or just being stuck in that place. I mean, in my case, for me, the consequences years ago of not taking action with regards to isolation, where I got really depressed and I started to experience some suicidal thoughts. But luckily for me, I found the strength and I got the support to improve and change and take the action. So there's some of the consequences, or just being stuck for many, many years. But obviously we don't want that, to me, which is why I'm putting these videos out, and that's the larger part of my message. So you don't want it to get to that point. What I try to do is what I do for myself and my clients, is I try to really excite people, motivate them to get excited about facing their fears and socializing more, as opposed to getting really down and depressed, because it doesn't have to be like that. It doesn't have to be depressing. It doesn't have to be that way. It can be very positive, especially if you commit to it. As I said, if you're very committed to overcoming your fears and your anxieties, then things can start to really change for you quickly, rapidly. It can improve for the better. Now, I want to go more into why gym is so good for confidence building and getting over social anxiety, because when you go to the gym and you've got an activity and you're working out, your mind is focused on something positive, and that's really good for your mind. Also, your self-esteem and your confidence starts to increase the more you stick at something long term, i.e. the gym. So if you're working out regularly, look, to make it simple, if you work out regularly, it gives you more confidence, and that confidence transfers over to your conversations, when you're talking to people in other situations, because the more confidence you have and the more confident you feel, the easier it is to then transfer that into your conversations. Does that make sense? Whereas if someone has got social anxiety and they're not socializing at all or very little, and they're not going to the gym, then they're going to be in a, they're not going to be in a great place. Yeah, I've been using the new lens, Timmy. Not right now. This is the lens on this camera, which is really good. But I've done a few videos. I've uploaded them. They're on the channel already, where I use the new lens that I bought. It's called a pancake lens. It's a nickname on the Canon. This quality is actually better than the new lens, but the new lens has some other good features when I'm using the Canon, if that makes sense. So yeah, as I was saying, when you go to the gym regularly, it does reduce social anxiety. It does give you more confidence. So that is a great way to build confidence for anyone who's wondering, how can I build more confidence, especially with regards to talking to people. I noticed years ago, you see, a lot of what I teach come from my own experience and then trialing out with clients and seeing them get results. When I was going through bad social anxiety, that's why I love the gym so much, and I talk about it on this channel, and I've been uploading a lot of videos of me working out, because when I was in my early 20s and I was really battling with social anxiety disorder and shyness and depression, when I started I was going to gym with a good friend of mine at the time, so I felt comfortable with him, so we worked out, and I didn't know when we started training that I was gonna stick to it for many years, and it was gonna change my life. I didn't know. I had no idea. I was just curious about starting. Didn't really think about how long it was going to end up. Anyway, so through that time that I spent in the gym, number one, I built a decent physique, really good physique, got in shape. That made me feel good about myself. Number two, I got to know regular gym goers that went to the gym, so I started to speak to them more, and that helped me to come out of my shell more. So I got more confident with people because I was going to the gym regularly and I was getting comfortable in that environment. So where I was going to the gym with my friend and making more friends at the gym and working out regularly and getting to know the regular gym goers, because I was one included, and just talking to people from day to day at the reception, working out with people, it gave me more confidence then around my family. And then it eventually, I've said this story before, because I was single at that time, it gave me the confidence to get a girlfriend, to start dating. And then that, getting a girlfriend gave me the confidence, to start a business and start teaching and doing public speaking. So there's no end to how much confidence you can gain and build. It's all down to you. It's all down to how much effort you make, as I said. And if you're willing to put that effort in and apply the things I'm saying, then you're going to see the benefits. Also as well, one of the things I've learned recently, the reason why exercise and dieting is so good for reducing things like social anxiety and shyness, because it teaches you how to strengthen your mind. It actually teaches you how to relax more in situations which might be fearful for you or nerve-wracking or scary. So it teaches you that through the discipline of, lifting weights, boxing, running, training, all these physical activities. Although they're physical, yes, when you're working out, you're having a physical workout. It's also mental. It's also a mental workout. And that's why people always say they feel better when they go to the gym, or if they've got a lot of stress in their life or in their relationships. If they go and do a workout, or people they go for a marathon run or run a 6K run, they feel a lot less stressed after. Why? Because when you work out physically, you work out mentally. I know, that's totally fine, Timmy. I know that you've got a good sense of humour, so I'm totally fine with that, man. So yeah, the physical workouts are very good for the mental health, and of course the mental health coincides with improving social anxiety disorder, because social anxiety I know it's not always a nice word, and we don't always like to use it because of some of the negative connotations. But you know, however you look at it, social anxiety is a mental health problem. So you can improve your social anxiety by improving your mental health, and improving your mental health is another description for building more confidence and self-esteem, which is what I'm so passionate about. I always laugh when I say this, but that's why I'm a confidence coach, and I go by that title. So anyone can build confidence who's willing to put the time and the energy and the habit in, and just take it one step at a time. And as I said, you don't have to be perfect. None of us are. I'm not. It doesn't matter if you make mistakes from time to time, as long as you don't give up and you keep socializing and you keep working on being positive and, you know, being honest, treating people how you want to be treated. Things are gonna get better for you. So that's a great way that anyone can build confidence. Another really good way, I do this to my clients in my 1-year program, and I also do it in my life, is to just sort of structure your life, your weeks or months, schedule your week. You don't have to plan everything, but look at your life and break it up into these areas. Just look at your week or your month and say, am I spending time with my family? And if you are, great. If you're not, then make an effort to. Am I dedicating some time towards spending time with my friends? Again, if you are, great. If you're not, work at that. Number 3, am I working on my career, my finances, my business, or am I improving at the job that I'm currently doing? And then, you know, am I pursuing my passions, my hobbies? So you start to build a better lifestyle. You start to put more time and energy into these areas. And most of these areas, if not pretty much all of them, they're going to require you communicating with people, and that's a good thing. Yeah, a big part of this is motivation. You know, you have to be patient, and you've got to continuously find ways in which you can motivate yourself to keep socializing, because as a lot of you know, it doesn't require any effort to go, oh, I don't feel like getting out of bed today, or I don't want to meet people today, or I don't want to see friends, family. It doesn't require much effort, so you've got to get past that on a day-to-day basis, on a weekly, monthly basis, if you want to excel in your life and build confidence and overcome your social anxiety. So like I said, if you're really serious about changing your life, you really want to make a 1-year commitment, because as I said before, if you dedicate 1 year to changing your life and getting over your social anxiety, you're going to have many more years of being happy and living the life that you want. Whereas if you don't put 1 year in, you may feel like you're getting out of, you're shortcutting yourself, but actually you're not. You're tripping yourself up, because if you don't do it this year, then the problem's not going to go away next year, and then the next year and the next year. So save yourself time by invest 1 year into overcoming your social anxiety and building your confidence and living the life that you want to live, as opposed to wasting the next 10 to 20 years in putting it off and not fixing the problem, and the problem's not going to go away on its own. It's going to get worse if you don't work on it. Excuse me. So like I said before, it's really having that mindset. All successful people have got that 1 year mentality. They'll commit to something long term. They're not looking for shortcuts, or they're not just going to start for a month, and then when a month comes, say, oh, it's taking too long, or I'm losing motivation, I don't want to do it anymore. Successful people generally don't think like that. They don't. Well, they might get some thoughts like that, but they push through it and they keep going if they want to succeed. And it's no different getting over social anxiety. It's a commitment. It's a long-term commitment. It's not short-term, because as I said, it's a behavior that you've got to unlearn. You've got to basically unlearn being shy. You have to unlearn being too introverted, right? There's nothing wrong with being an introvert, because I'm naturally an introvert. But if you're too introverted, then that's not going to be good for you in life, because it's going to hold you back. If you don't communicate, then people are not going to know that you exist. If if you don't communicate, then you're not going to create opportunities for yourself. Making money, you're going to need to communicate, or getting a job, or helping people, or making friends. If you don't open up and communicate, then you're going to have less opportunities to create these relationships for yourself. Now, like I've said it before, going to the gym is not the only way to build confidence, even though it's one of my favorites. Another way that you can build confidence is by getting a mentor and having a coach to support you and give you that mental and emotional support and help you to achieve your goals, set goals, and be accountable to those goals, and also to help you to think more positively about yourself and the way that you view yourself and the way that you go about your life, and make you better. So mentors, 100%. Another great way of building confidence is to, have a closer relationship with your family. I find that second to none. If you're in a position where you can do that, then do that. Take advantage of that. Spend more time with them, or communicate more with them. I'm going to just get straight to the point. Tell your family that you love them more, and they appreciate that, and because your family loves you a lot. So that's important for confidence and self-esteem. So a lot of it is really simple. I thought of this today. A lot of the ways in which you build confidence and you overcome social anxiety are simple. Obviously, that doesn't mean it's easy for people, and I'm not suggesting that it is, but at the same time, that shouldn't be an excuse for you to not challenge yourself, because most things that we value, they don't come easy. They don't come without, hard work, blood, sweat and tears, and that's why we value them. We appreciate them when we have to work hard for them. So another great way to build confidence is things that, small things that you might not think are a big deal. Cleaning your apartment, keeping your apartment clean, cooking, dressing smart, all these sort of things that we tend to take for granted, if you do them habitually to the best of your ability, you'll notice that you'll start to feel more confident. Of course you will. Of course you'll feel more confident if you're, smarter, your environment where you live, if you share, you rent, you buy, wherever your living conditions are, if you keep the place tidy, it makes you feel good about yourself. Whereas, as or maybe I'll remind you, if your place is messy and you don't tidy it, how does it make you feel? I know for me, it doesn't make you feel good. So these habits build confidence on top of the other ones. So going to the gym regularly builds confidence. Cleaning your apartment builds confidence. Setting goals, socializing with family, telling them that you love them more often, spending time with them, communicating with them, spending time with friends or a friend. Even to have one good friend is great. Lucky in today's world. One real friend. I'm not talking about on social media, someone that you have a relationship with in person, a friend. So that builds confidence. Socializing. I've said before, being kind to other people. People undervalue that. Try it. Just be consciously when you can. I'm not saying, I know it's not always easy, because it's challenging with people at times. People are not always kind to you or to me, but still be better, still be kind to as many people as you can, and watch how your confidence will start to increase. If you're consistent with it, and it will just become part of your character, it makes a difference. So put the pieces together. You go to the gym regularly, you socialize regularly, you be kinder to people regularly, you're more accountable, your apartment's cleaner, you're dressing smarter, you're thinking more positively. When you start adding those things up, that is a lot of positives for one person to build on and to incorporate into their life and their thinking and their personality and character. It goes a long way, it really does. And they're not, it's not rocket science, is it? If I said, the gym, you're not going to be like, never heard of the gym, or go to the gym, or spend time with family. But the one challenging thing that gets in the way of people doing these things is a 4-letter word, and that word is fear. And again, there's nothing to be ashamed of, because we all have fears, we all experience fear. But the successful people in this world are better at controlling their fear than, quote unquote, the unsuccessful people. And so everybody's got a fair shot at it. It's down to the individual to put the effort in. And I always say, and I do understand, because it isn't easy by any means, right? If you can't do this on your own, you're powerless for whatever reason, I get it. Get help, speak to someone, speak to your family. You know, you're getting some help now on these free streams. Or if you're in a position financially, invest some money, get a coach, get a mentor, find the right coach for you. If I'm the right coach for you, reach out, and if I can help you can do a program, I will. If I'm not right coach for you, that's fine. Find someone. There are teachers out there. Don't suffer in silence. And that's the best advice that I could give anyone at this moment in time who is suffering with social anxiety to the point where they just can't find the courage within themselves to talk to someone or go out and go gym and, you know, do quote unquote normal everyday things. So I totally understand. I've been there myself. But what I can say is, when you're in those places, it isn't like, it's not over. There is a lot of hope you can get out of them, because I've been in those places and I've successfully gotten out of them, and I've helped other people, and I've seen people on this channel do it, and people that I've met. Another great way to build confidence is to, you know, find something that you enjoy, whether it's a hobby, and do it. Put your time into it. You know, as long as it's positive and it makes you feel good, and it's not, you know, it doesn't harm anyone else, then go for it. So yeah, actually, I'm glad I just thought this today, because I almost forgot it the other day. I need to make a video about it. Being creative builds confidence, creative things. You know, a lot of, I would say all people with social anxiety are very creative people. Sometimes, obviously, they don't realize it until they actually start creating. So being creative can be, well, I'm a creative person, making YouTube videos that inspire people, or editing, you know, painting, drawing, things that you can create that you enjoy doing. You enjoy that creative process. So good for mental health, definitely good for confidence, and it definitely reduces social anxiety if you're pursuing, you know, you're creating things that you enjoy, and especially if they can help other people. And it's even a bonus if you can get paid for it as well, which you can, and I've explained that throughout the course of the videos and the channels and the teaching. Yeah, and it's very therapeutic as well. If you speak to any like doctor or therapist or coach with experience in this sort of area of confidence, self-esteem and anxiety, they will tell you that it's really good therapy if you do some art or writing or drawing or create products. That's why a lot of business people and entrepreneurs do what they do, and whether they realize it or not, I realize it. You know, it's a way of them dealing with their mental health and being positive and helping others and helping themselves to create a business, create products, to create a platform, you know, to do drawing or writing. Or for me, my creative outlet is what I'm doing now, speaking and making videos and editing, getting different lenses and shots. I absolutely love the creative process, because it's really good for mental health, keeps you sane, keeps you happy, and it does increase confidence and self-esteem, and you can give that energy onto other people. So that's another great way of building confidence. If you can, I appreciate those of you that are going to see this stream later on. Like, share, subscribe. Let me know in the comments if this is helping. Make some notes, write these things down. This is really life-changing advice and wisdom that I'm giving you, that I've collected over the course of 19 or 20 years on my journey, what I've learned also from clients teaching, and I've learned from my mentors. Excuse me. Yeah, just giving you some other ideas that come to mind, other things that build confidence. Well, it's always been, and it's scary, believe me, for everyone until you do it. But again, when you're ready, public speaking has got to probably be, I'd probably have to agree that it's probably the #1 best confidence builder in regards to like socializing, social anxiety, sorry. It's because it's the most challenging to begin with, but if you stick at it, and I did it, and it transformed my life. And it's one of the number one human fears, public speaking. Everybody has it, me included, until you practice it and you get more used to doing it. But yeah, I'd recommend any of you taking up public speaking or doing a public talk, getting a feel of it and gaining confidence from it. Excuse me. My clients that I'm coaching at the moment on the 1-year program, and actually a client I did on the weekend program, I encouraged them, and they've all gone and done public speaking, and they all, they were all scared to do it as well, but they made great progress. So, if you don't face your fears, then you're not going to gain the confidence that you want and you deserve. I'm going to make a point of saying again, because I know it's challenging, I'm not saying that these things that I'm telling you guys and girls to do are easy. They're not easy things to do, but what I will say is that you can still do them. Just because they're difficult right now or scary, you can do them. Because if I can do them, right? I know it's cliche and it's cheesy now and we hear it all the time, but I mean it. If I can do all these things, there's no reason why none of you can't do them, because I'm not any different to you. We're different people, individuals. I'm human. I had the same fear and phobia you did, social interaction, fear of being judged, fear of being nervous, awkward, etc. And I succeeded, and my clients do it. And many, as I said before, it's not just me and my clients that have succeeded. It's people that are thousands of people around the world, millions that have had this problem, just like you, and they've overcome it. So wow, I'm learning a lot today as I'm teaching all of you. A lot of positive things that you can do to build confidence for those when you've got social anxiety. What else is there? Oh, of course, how could I not mention it? Traveling. Man, traveling it builds a fantastic momentum, and it does give you a lot of confidence, and especially for people with social anxiety, because it forces you to speak to people at the airport. You've got to check in, you've got to check out. You've got to communicate, and that's great. You want situations that are going to give you no choice other than to communicate with other people. That's how you're going to improve. I think one of the biggest mistakes that shy people make is they constantly tell themselves that they can't be confident, that they can't change, and it's not true. It's lies. It's not true what they're believing or telling them, or they're listening to the negativity, their thoughts, their feelings. As a matter of fact, and I remember hearing, is it the billionaire man Dan Pena say, most high-level successful people, when you do a proper study on them, they're all introverts. They're all naturally shy, introverted. They're not naturally outgoing people. But why have they become so successful and good at speaking? Because they've worked so hard at it. Totally agree with them. In my experience, it's true. Now, I've said this before to you guys, said it to clients. People sometimes feel sorry for themselves, and they'll be like, it's not fair. Why is it that there are some people in this world that they're just naturally outgoing and they're really confident and they're not awkward and they're just so good with people? And it's like, that's the gift they were given. But look at it a different way. They are not going to be driven to go to the lengths that you're going to go to, and my clients and me, because they don't have the same level of anxiety. So if you're driven and you follow that drive, you'll end up, excelling more than they will, because they don't have to do all this fear-facing. All right, Jay, good to hear you. Is it? Yeah, I understand you're scared of flying. Yeah, it's well, I don't know if this will help you, Jay. I can only tell you from my experience, I was really scared of traveling alone, and I recently overcame it. Surprisingly, I weren't that scared of the flying, and I thought I would be. It was more, I tell you what, I was just scared of checking in and checking out and booking the flights and the whole responsibility around it. But when I did it, I was really good at it. So I did 2 trips to Germany to get over the fear. So you can do it, Jay, if you really want to. But unless, you know, it's a really bad phobia that you got, but you can overcome it. But it's a common one. A lot of people are scared of flying. I don't know if this helped you, but I think maybe music will help. You know, when you're flying, put some headphones in and music so it distracts you from the flight. Or read a book on the plane. Yeah. Yeah, it's really common. Yeah. Well, I don't know if you would like me to do this, Jay. It might help you and more people. I can do a video at some point on the channel, sort of, you know, sharing my experience, because I had such